This moment, as chapter 19 highlights, has come in a moment of existential challenges. And we confront these challenges in our final chapter on populist nationalism. I turn it back to Larry at the end to discuss the rising threat of populist nationalism to human rights and global health, and the importance of health and human rights institutions in resisting this rising threat. Larry?
Well, thank you very much, Ben, and thank you, Alex, for that important alert to all of us and to the world about the existential threat of climate change and the climate crisis. Um, as we've discussed today, the world has come together in an unprecedented cooperation since the end of World War II and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights to defend the rights and freedoms of everyone on the planet. Yet, what we've all clearly seen, and even more so with COVID, is this current populist age threatens our global solidarity and our mutual obligations to one another, and raises major challenges for future progress in global health and human rights. And it reveals a world in which nationalism and extremism have been on the rise. These populist leaders have exploited the divisions in our societies. Populist parties have risen to power across the world by exploiting fear in immigration, the other, and stoking rises in my country first, and the rise of nationalism. Nationalism, of course, is the antithesis of global cooperation that human rights is founded upon. We all know, and many of us are delighted as I am, that one major populist will be gone soon, but the rise of populism will live on. Challenging the shared goals of global health and human rights, populism seeks to retrench nations and push us all inwards in a way that focuses only on ourselves, selfishness, not caring about the world. We see this now with vaccine nationalism and the hoarding of vaccines and robbing the World Health Organization and Gavi of scarce vaccine doses for the COVAX facility. Populist nationalism rejects public health science, cooperation. It too easily infringes on human rights and undermines global institutions like the WHO and global governance itself. This nationalist populism seeks to undo so much of the wonderful progress we've made in the past 72 years, as nationalist leaders have relentlessly undermined global solidarity that's needed to respond to the common threat of COVID-19. It remains unclear how such opposition will impact the continuing evolution of human rights and public health, and it's our job to make sure that nationalist populism doesn't undo all of the gains that we've made. In this final chapter, we examine how advocacy will be necessary to overcome the challenges of populist nationalism, how we can advance global health amidst this cataclysmic pandemic and extend human rights even more robustly into the next generation, both individual rights and also collective rights to health, to life, to a clean environment. We conclude that the future will be determined by the advocates, by those passionate young leaders whose fight for human rights has withstood challenges in the past and who now provide hope for a future of global health with justice and human rights. Yet this is going to be a long struggle. And as we remind our students in the afterward, each of you, all the young people, you have to maintain your own resilience when facing these challenges. We're being bombarded by populist frankly, bullying leaders. We're seeing loneliness and devastation through the lockdowns and this pandemic. And we've rarely faced the kinds of challenges we do now. You can best take care of the world when you take care of yourself. And that's a message that Ben and I hope that all of you will take to heart. Over the course of your long careers, you'll face enormous struggles, obstacles, and disappointments. But we hope for the future because we believe that you are the next generation. Thank you very much for being here at the launch of our book, the launch of Human Rights Day, and just global solidarity as we all fight together against this hard global pandemic. One day we will all be back, we'll all be social, and we'll all be fighting for human rights, not just remotely, but there on the streets in every capital of the world and in all the rural areas. Thank you very much.